Welcome back to Cash and Sass, the podcast where we ditch the shame, talk real numbers, and build bold, bankable wealth without sacrificing who we are. I'm your host, Lisa Marie, fractional CFO, wealth mentor, and the sassy wealth queen behind Transcendent Wealth Co. And if you're ready to scale with strategy, own your power, and finally feel wealthy in every sense of the word, then you're in the right place. Today, we are talking about something that lives right at the intersection of marketing and money. And I want to be very clear from the jump. This is not a marketing episode. This is a revenue episode. Because what we're talking about today is one of the quietest, most consistent profit leaks I see in the business of women entrepreneurs who are working hard, showing up, and still not seeing the results they deserve. This episode is called If They Can't Tell What You Do in 10 Seconds, You're Leaving Money on the Table. And if you've ever wondered why your content gets likes but not clients, why people say they love what you do but never buy, or why your revenue does not match your effort, this is the conversation you've been waiting for. All right, let's get into it. So let me start with something that might reframe how you've been thinking about this. Most entrepreneurs treat messaging as a branding issue, something to hand off to a copywriter, something to revisit when they do a rebrand, something that lives in the marketing lane and not the financial one. But I want to challenge that completely. Unclear messaging is a profit leak. And a profit leak, no matter where it comes from, has direct impact on your bottom line every single day. Here is what unclear messaging actually costs you. When someone lands on your profile, your website, your bio, your content, and they cannot immediately understand who you help, what problem you solve, and why you are the right person to solve it, they leave. They scroll past, they move on. Y'all, I've even had this problem. And it's not because they are not your ideal client. It's because you did not make it easy enough for them to recognize themselves in what you were saying. And that person who scrolled past, that is a potential client who never became one. That is revenue that never entered your business. That is an offer that never got a chance to change someone's life. Multiply that by every day that you've been unclear, every post, every bio, every introduction at a networking event where you stumbled over your own answer to, so what do you do? It's not a small leak. It's actually a huge, significant one. And it compounds quietly in the background while you keep wondering why growth feels so hard. Here's the connection I want you to really sit with today, because this is the part that changes everything. When you're clear on your value, when you know exactly who you serve, when you know exactly what transformation you create and why your work matters, something shifts, not just in the marketing, in your money. You charge differently when you are clear. You stop hedging on your rates. You stop offering discounts before anyone even asks for one. You stop shrinking your offer into something smaller because you're not sure anyone will pay full price for the real thing. Clarity creates confidence, and confidence is what allows you to hold your price, state your value, and let the right people say yes without doing backflips trying to convince them. But when your messaging is fuzzy, when even you cannot clearly articulate what makes you different and who you are for, that uncertainty does not stay in your content. It bleeds into your sales conversations. It shows up in how you present your offers. It shows up in how quickly you crumble when someone says, "Can you do it for less?" Fuzzy positioning leads directly to discounted pricing. Think about that for a second. The reason so many women entrepreneurs undercharge is not always a mindset issue in isolation. Sometimes it is a clarity issue. When you are not completely sure of your positioning, you compensate with price. You make yourself more accessible because you're not sure that your value is obvious enough on its own. But y'all, the solution's not to charge less. The solution's to get clearer. It's something I had to do. Brand confidence and financial confidence are the same muscle, and you build them the same way by doing the work to get specific, stay consistent, and stop trying to speak to everyone, because speaking to everyone means you're reaching no one. So I want to give you a simple, honest test right now, and I want you to actually do this, not just think about it, okay? Pull up your Instagram file. profile, or your Facebook page or website homepage, whatever is the first place a potential client's most likely to land when they discover you. Now, imagine a stranger, someone who has never heard of you, never seen your content, has no context for who you are or what you do, and they land on your profile. They have 10 seconds before they decide to stay or scroll. In those 10 seconds, from your bio, your photo, your headline, your most recent posts, can they answer these 3 questions? First question, who do you help? Second question, what problem do you solve for them? And third question, what do they need to do to work with you? If the answer to any of those is probably not, or I'm not sure, then you probably have a profit leak right there in plain sight. And here's the part that stings a little but needs to be said. Most people looking at their own profiles think they are clearer than they actually are. I know because I thought I was, and I was wrong. And it's because you know the context. You know what you mean. You've been living inside your brand for so long that the gap feels invisible to you. It did to me. But your potential client does not have the context. They are reading your bio cold. They are seeing your content for the first time, and they're making a split-second decision about whether what you do is for them. Your job is to make that decision as easy as possible. Okay, so I want to get into some action because that's what we do here, right? I don't do these things and then you leave with no steps to do anything with. So step 1, audit your bio right now with a fresh pair of eyes. That could be you going to it. That could be having someone who you know, but who can come from being a cold person looking at it. Either way, go to your primary platform and read your bio as if you are a stranger, not as yourself. Have someone do it for you if that helps, okay? But you want it to be being read as someone who has never heard of you. And then you're going to ask, is it immediately clear who I help? Not in a vague, I help women way. Specifically, what kind of woman, at what stage, with what challenge? And ask, is the transformation I create obvious? Not just what I do, but what changes for the person I work with because of it. If you cannot answer both of those questions from reading your own bio, then rewrite it. Don't rewrite it tomorrow, rewrite it today. Step 2, do the 1-sentence clarity test. Can you finish this sentence in 15 words or less without hesitation? And y'all, this takes practice. I help blank, do blank, so that blank. If you stumble or over-explain or give a different answer every time someone asks, that is the work. Because if you cannot say it clearly in one sentence, your audience definitely cannot understand it from a piece of content. So write it out, refine it, say it out loud until it feels like second nature. That sentence is the foundation of every piece of content, every sales conversation, every introduction you ever give. Step 3, connect your clarity directly to your pricing. Okay, this is the cash and SaaS move, okay? Take whatever offer you have been discounting, hedging on, or not promoting consistently, and ask yourself honestly, am I doing this because the price is actually wrong or because I am not clear enough on the value to hold it? 9 times out of 10 is the second one. So get clearer on the transformation. Tighten the language around the result, and then go back to that offer and present it as if you are certain. Because clarity is certainty, and certainty is what sells. Now, here's what I know after working with women entrepreneurs as a fractional CFO and wealth mentor for many years. The money gaps in your business are rarely just about numbers. They are about the places where your confidence and your clarity and your systems have not caught up to your potential yet. Unclear messaging is one of those places. Undercharging is another. Avoidance, reactive spending, profit leaks, they all connect. And trying to untangle them alone without someone who can see your business from the outside and tell you exactly where the gaps are, that is one of the most expensive things you can do. And that is exactly why I created the 2-week Money Moves Voxer Coaching. For 2 full weeks, you get direct access to me through Voxer. We look at your business holistically, your numbers, your patterns, your positioning, your profit leaks. We identify exactly where the revenue is slipping through, and we build a clear strategic plan to close those gaps. Not theory, your actual business, your actual numbers, your actual next move. If today's episode made you realize your messaging might be costing you more than you thought, y'all, don't sit on it. Don't sit on that realization. The link to learn more and to book your 2-week Money Moves Voxer coaching is in the show notes. Go click the link, check it out, and let's get you started, because you are not invisible. You're just not clear enough yet, and we can fix that. And as I always say, until next time, remember, confidence and cash are the ultimate power duo. Go check in with your money, and as always, have a fantastic and wealthy day.